So, as the voting for the Lok Sabha elections is underway, the Supreme Court today served a massive setback for those who doubt EVMs. The Supreme Court affirmed the credibility of EVMs and their integration with the VVPAT machines. Dismissing the pleas seeking ballot paper voting, the apex court said that blindly distrusting the poll process can lead to unwarranted suspicions. It also said there's no question of going back to ballot papers, and neither should there be 100% matching of EVMs and VVPAT paper trail. The bench also issued two directions. One is the completion of the symbol loading process, which should be done 45 days prior to the election, and the symbol loading unit should be stored for that period of a month and a half. It also added that the burnt memory in the microcontroller chip of the EVM shall be checked by a team of engineers after the declaration of results. If there is a request by candidates in serial numbers 2 and 3, those who finish second or third, and they request for a check on this microchip, the burnt memory of the microchip on the EVM, and that same request has to be made within 7 days of the declaration of the results. Prime Minister Modi hailed the apex court's verdict. He said it's a victory of democracy and slammed the opposition for maligning EVMs. All right, I want to go across to former Chief Election Commissioner of India, Mr. O.P. Rawat. Thank you very much, Rawat Saab, for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. First things first, so big verdict today by the Supreme Court. It has said two things: no going back to paper ballots and no need for 100% matching of EVMs and VVPATs. How do you see today's decision by the court?
I welcome this decision, and I feel that our Honorable Supreme Court have set at rest all those scaremongers and doubting heroes that EVM and VVPAT can be manipulated, and unless 100% matching is there, we should go back to the ballot paper system, without realizing the ills of ballot paper: booth capturing, ballot stuffing, ballot box looting, all kinds of things, and maligning our own voter. That the Indian voter has not even learnt how to vote. So many millions of votes are invalidated because of wrong marking or marking here and there. So all those things have gone with ballot gone. Booth capturing is not heard of. With electronic voting machine, you will take at least 15 to 20 seconds for one vote, and therefore booth capturing is not viable. So all these things have been prevented by Honorable Supreme Court by today's verdict, and I think this augurs well for our polling system.
Rawat Saab, but the court has also said that in case serial numbers 2 and 3, which is the people who finish second and third in a particular constituency, if they want to raise an objection, they can be allowed, if they make a request in 1 week of the results being declared, they can be allowed, along with a team of engineers, to check the burnt memory of the microchip of the EVM. How do you see that?
That's very important for raising the confidence level of all the stakeholders. In fact, Election Commission has already put in its rules that in case a candidate raises an objection, a complaint is made that there was some wrong at some polling stations or in most polling stations of his constituency, the returning officer is empowered to order 100% matching with VVPAT slip just on that application if he is satisfied. So Election Commission also works for keeping the confidence of all the stakeholders, and these two orders, that microcontrollers and other thing also, these two orders of or directions of Supreme Court are welcome, because this will reinforce the confidence level of all the stakeholders in the system.
I do want to ask you though, and the petitioners, the counsels for the petitioners repeatedly in court made this point that, you know, we need to have 100% matching of EVM and VVPAT. What is the logistical difficulty in doing so?
Actually, it is not the logistical difficulty. The first thing is, when in 2010, after 2009 elections, BJP took up in a big way against the EVM, and GVL Narasimha Rao wrote a book also that it can be hacked and all those things. Election Commission thought of reinforcing the confidence level of the voter and other stakeholders in the system, and they asked the Bharat Electronics and ACIL to sort of put together a machine by the name voter verifiable paper audit trail. The main purpose was that voter could see after pressing the button of EVM where his or her vote is going, which symbol and which candidate, and that was the main purpose. And secondary purpose was that to have hard copy record to audit in case of any dispute or any difficulty later on, to audit the polling process as to how was it there and whether there is any doubt about the whole process for that purpose. Now, if you have to do 100% matching after so much of effort that Indian Statistical Institute says that only 479 randomly selected polling station VVPAT slip matching will give you a confidence level of 99.99%. Then Election Commission raising it from 479 to 4,300, and then Honorable Supreme Court raising it by 5 per Legislative Assembly segment to about 21,000. That is, I think, more than enough. But if you insist on 100%, then first is the provision that if there is any wrong and candidate is complaining, then you can have 100% matching already. But universally 100% matching is a little problematic because this slip is very small, 4 inches by 2.5 inches.
I do want to ask you, Rawat Sahab, you must have seen recently, there was this test case that was happening, I think somewhere in Kerala, and it was alleged by the CPM candidate and the Congress candidate or the observers there of those parties that every time you press the button once for BJP, then 2 times it would go to BJP. Are those concerns now invalidated by the court order today? How was that happening?
Not only court order, in fact, Election Commission has denied that nothing of this sort happened. Same thing about Ater in the Bhind constituency, where there was a complaint that press any button and BJP's symbol comes out. All those things have been set to rest by Election Commission in EVM status paper, in their FAQs. All these documents are in public domain, answering every doubt, every single question that all these things are bogus and do not hold water of any kind.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it at that. O.P. Rawat Sahab, he's the former Chief Election Commissioner. I think the biggest testimony is the fact that you can't have, if the argument of the opposition is that EVMs are rigged and all of that, then how is opposition also winning elections, state elections? Most recently in Karnataka, Congress won 135 MLAs. So to say that, EVMs are favoring just one party, I think the best sort of antidote to that is the fact that opposition is also winning state elections. Of course, they're not able to win national elections, but the reason for that is not EVMs.